All right.
Welcome back, Todd Jeffries and Don Pryor.
How are you?
Here on the Todd and Don Show.
Good to see you.
Jump in here, 512-836-0590. A new city survey of homeowners who live along Shoal Creek Boulevard found that 70% oppose those new bike lanes. Now, somebody just sent us a picture from that area, and there's absolutely no bicycles in the bike lane.
No.
And the cars were backing up on Shoal Creek. Well, the city of Austin added new lanes anyway, even though the people don't want it. Laura Durenfield, she's with the Transportation Department. She spoke with KVUE. They made the decision, as she says, for the greater good of the community.
Of course, people who live along the street are an important constituency in that conversation. But as well, this is a community street, a public street that we all rely on.
Yeah, there you go. She's with the City of Austin Transportation Department. She says it was for the greater good that we put a bicycle lane on Shoal Creek.
Oh, greater good of what and who, where, when?
Now,
Why?
some homeowners, they're furious because all of the on-street parking is completely gone on that section. That's about a 2-mile stretch.
That's not good.
One man even tells KVUE they're ready to sell.
I'm not crazy about people parking on the street in the neighborhood, but there are times when you have to have it if you're going to have a bunch of people over for something. And the driveway fills up. They're going to park on. Where do they park? They're going to have to park a few blocks away on a side street or
May
something.
have to, yeah.
And walk, which is not going to be safe either. They have made a dangerous situation not only for any cyclist that might use it. Every now and then, I hear that cyclists actually use these things every now and then.
Sometimes
I've
they
heard
do.
about it.
Sometimes.
I never see it.
No.
But they made a dangerous situation for the cyclists and the drivers.
Kelly is downtown on the Todd and Don Show. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey,
I had to come in from Leander to downtown and got over to the Mopac parking lot and decided to get off at 2222 to go over on Shoal Creek.
yeah.
Well, everybody must have been listening to y'all this morning because there was nobody on Shoal Creek. Hardly any cars and certainly no bicyclists.
Really?
Yeah.
So they did solve a congestion problem on Shoal Creek. They made it so difficult for
I guess from
cars.
listening to y'all this morning.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go.
Well, Laura Durenfield, she's with the Transportation Department. She says active in street design. She is the active street design division manager, and she says that that they've slowed down traffic by about 80%. But they have not calmed the neighbors who live on Shoal Creek, like Dan Byler. He's now considering to move. Yeah, these protected bike lanes on that 2-mile stretch between Shoalmont Drive and Foster Lane, they opened this past Saturday. They join other protected bike lanes on both sides of Shoal Creek Boulevard between Foster Lane and US 183, as well as the first segment of a 2-way protected bike lane between 38th Streets and 39th and a half Streets. Yeah, the bike lanes took away Byler's on-street parking. He's pissed off. He's angry.
I would be too.
He had to sell one of his vehicles.
You know where to put it?
He had nowhere to put it.
Yeah. I would be enraged about this. We have really been screwed big time with this bike thing. And if you have voted for it in any bond election or anything, you've been had because no one's using them. We don't need them. The only time I see anybody using a bike lane, it's clearly not a commuter. It's going to be maybe a mom and a couple of kids or maybe the family doing that, which is great, but it's rare.
Yeah.
It's nothing that we should have gone to the lengths that have been gone to provide for those folks. I need to do this. I need to sit out on Shoal Creek some Saturday and just see, or any day really, and just see how many cars how many bikes are coming by.
I don't think it's going to be many.
It won't. It will not. It'll be a shockingly low number. I'm sure on Saturdays you might see these packs of hardcore spandex cyclists.
Not on Shoal Creek.
I don't know, but
It's too dangerous.
You see them on Southwest Parkway, but those aren't bike lanes. They're just out there on the shoulder, and they're making it work. They're making it work. They don't need bike lanes, and if there are bike lanes, they don't use them because it's not cool for a hardcore cyclist to actually use the bike lane.
Does this have a positive or negative effect on the property values on Shoal Creek Boulevard?
I would think it would have a negative
No.
effect.
I think it has a positive effect.
You do?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think it attracts the kind of people that love this kind of progressive city.
But
they got bike lanes. Yeah, let's buy a house there. They got bike lanes. We love bikes.
But it limits.
It'll chase some people away, but it'll attract those that love that kind of stuff.
It'll attract the kind of people the city council would rather be living over there.
Well, listen, Mr. Byler, who spoke with KView, he has a great question. Why did the city move ahead with this project if a city survey showed that 70% of Shoal Creek Boulevard residents didn't want that big old bike lane? I have a feeling they don't mind a little bike lane, maybe a little shoulder, that kind of thing.
Well, maybe if they striped the existing shoulder, and did not affect traffic as far as people that are driving in cars, which the roads were designed for in the first place. Cars. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, here's what the transportation department says. Of course, the people who live on that street are important constituencies in that conversation, but this is a community street and a public street that we all rely on to get where we need to go safely and comfortably, reliably. And she said they have to consider everyone that uses Shoal Creek Boulevard when making decisions for our growing city. Yeah, so there you go.
Was there data? I wonder if there's data out there to show the amount of injuries before bike lanes and after bike lanes, because I have a feeling that if somebody was choosing to ride a bicycle before there were bike lanes, they were going to ride the bicycle. They were going to do it anyway, and they were going to get to where they were going to get to one way or the other. Another might have meant riding more side streets and not more major thoroughfares like that, but they were getting there. Folks, these bike lanes have been unnecessary from day one. When we got the hike and bike trail in back in the 70s, that was cool. The hike and bike trail, great. And I've used that extensively, and so many of you out there have as well. And it's something that have actually caused people to move to Austin because it's such a beautiful thing. But beyond the hike and bike trail, it's all been completely unnecessary.
Candy is on the Todd and Don show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah.
So my comment is that when they make these bike lanes, they're potentially for people riding road bikes, which have very thin tires.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when their sweet streepers go by, they're pushing all the rocks and stuff from the road right into the bike lane. So it's making it kind of impossible to ride because you're going to wipe out.
Yeah, that's why you see some cyclists, when they're in the bike lane, they get over to the left really close to the cars because there's not as much debris in the roadway.
Creates a hazardous situation.
Exactly.
I always thought that
they want to make them. Sorry.
I was going to say the street sweepers don't clean the bike lane. I mean, if you're going to have that big of a bike lane and you got a street sweeper, clean it.
You would think so. I mean, because the bike lanes are so important, you would think that that would be a priority.
Yeah. You think you could bike to work? How far would that be for you? How far would that be?
It would be 22 miles. If I biked,
I'm willing to do it from Leander, Texas.
How many miles have you? How many miles?
I don't know. That's I don't know how many miles that is.
Yeah.
Probably take me about 2 hours.
It would take me.
You figure on a bike you go about 10 miles an hour, leisurely. I mean, you could probably kick it up and go about 15, 20 miles an hour with the way you've been working out.
Yeah.
Your thighs.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. I would have to leave the house at midnight, probably, to be here by 5 a.m.
And you got to plan like a Denny's or an IHOP that's open all night long to stop at because you're going to need to take a shower and get something to eat.
Right. In fact, I could probably, what I need to do is do research, find out where the most convenient homeless communities are. I could stop there to get some provisions, food, what have you, water, insulin, apparently. Apparently insulin is very big.
You still have the banana seat Huffy?
I do.
With the whip antenna?
I do.
It's a beautiful Huffy.
Right. Original tires. Getting a little crusty, but it'll get me here.
Yeah.
So it really makes some. And then when I get here, I'm going to stink to high heaven. So I'm going to have a shower.
Why should every day be different?
A lot of things to think ahead about.
Also, a reminder. The remainder of the Shoal Creek Boulevard bike path that's set to open up later this summer. They're not done.
Okay.
They're not done.
Okay.
They're not done. Andy in Central Austin, good morning.
Thinking ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hi.
I don't feel like these bike riders should have a voice. I have 3 cars, and I pay road and bridge when I get my license plate, like you guys do.
Yeah.
How come no one has said, well, these guys with a voice, well, why don't we make a special plate for these guys and charge them $86 a month to have a license plate so they can have a voice?
You're saying the bicyclists should have to register their bikes and start paying some road taxes like the rest of us?
If they're you would think so, since the demand obviously is massive, that they should have some skin in the game here.
If we're doing alternative transportation, which is those guys, the bike riders, we should make a plate for them.
Here's the thing, Andy. That won't happen, and it's because bicyclists, the bicycling lobby, is huge here in Austin. And people like you, Andy, you don't go vote.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to think about that.
Did you?
No, those cyclists, I mean, they're organized.
Well, you know what?
You often refer to them as militant cyclists.
Militant cyclists and some of the most passive-aggressive people you'll ever meet. Passive-aggressive behavior is all around this. The city council who wants these in and the cyclists themselves that, go out there and try to push me off the road. We actually have less cyclists now that they've incorporated these scooters. There are actually less cyclists, so maybe these are actually really scooters in mind.
Wilson on Palmer, which is a bicycle haven on Palmer Lane. Wilson, good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hi.
What's on your mind? Just got a few seconds here. What you got?
So I haven't been able to find the actual code, but I've grown up my entire life riding bikes in Texas, and I'm not avid, nothing like that, but bicycles are a legal vehicle, which means they don't need a bike lane. They just need a lane.
That's true.
That money could have been better spent educating the public on that issue. And being from Houston, where we have our own corruption issues with our mayor, as y'all probably know, I would almost willing to bet that there is some sort of kickback for the companies that are doing this construction. And that's why they were given the go-ahead.
Listen, I appreciate.
Note, y'all have brought it up about getting the bikes to kick in their fair share since they're technically vehicles.
Yeah.
I think that should be something that should be looked into.
Absolutely,
really.
man. I appreciate your healthy dose of skepticism there.
Yeah.
512-836-0590.
Todd and Don Show.